Hello there, ladies. Claire Lussman here, Business Mentor, and thank you so much for requesting this free training video on marketing with ease and authenticity. And I'm sure it's a topic that interests you, right? We want to figure out how to market in a way that it doesn't feel icky or pushy, because sales and marketing is obviously key to the financial health of our business. So let's figure out actually how to fall in love with sales and marketing and how to be able to do it with ease and authenticity. So real quick, some of you may never have heard of me before, so you might be thinking, who is this Claire character? And there I am. I am a wife to Eric for 10.5 years and a mama to Dylan, who at the time of this recording just turned 8. And I'm a strong Christian, and you'll probably hear that throughout in my marketing materials, in my message, in my communications. And so just want to be authentic in my marketing, right? And I am so passionate about helping people get back into the home, right? I'm passionate about being home, and I want to help other people do the same for whatever reason they may have for wanting to do that. For me, it was a life-threatening illness I had. I had a very advanced breast cancer when my son was just born, about 3 months old, and it, tons of chemotherapy, radiation, mastectomies, but it was the biggest gift. It really helped me check in on my life and what I want to do and my passion and what I'm meant to do here on this earth. And I so wanted just to get back in the home. I had this burning desire to become the best wife, mom, woman that I possibly could. And whatever your reason might be for wanting this business to be a thorough success, I want to help you do that. My background, I've been in training and coaching for 16 plus years on the corporate side of things, and actually then got my master's degree at NC State down here in Raleigh, North Carolina, in adult education. And I actually dipped my toe into the world of the in-home business model in network marketing about 10 plus years ago with Mary Kay. I was a Mary Kay sales director. But this business, this is my baby. This is my thing. This is what I'm meant to be doing. I started growing this company from scratch 4 years ago, and it was really just a seed of desire. I just knew that I wanted to help women regardless of what business or industry, and I wanted to help them and simplify the business building process so they could have that business that's truly family focused and super streamlined and highly profitable in the quickest, easiest way. So when I decided and God planted the seed of desire for this business deep in my heart about 4 years ago at the time of this recording, my husband is a high school teacher, and I love that he's a high school teacher. Here in North Carolina, however, it's like the second lowest paid, I believe. I mean, they get paid like nothing. And then on top of that, for the last 6 years, he's received 0 increase. So that's a struggle, right? I needed then a business that was highly profitable. And I was creating this business, like I said, from scratch, right, from ground zero. And when God planted the seed of desire in my heart, I lost complete interest in my network marketing business. So I just wanted to put that down and really just purely focus on this. And I made a decision. It was a hard decision at the time. I cried and cried and cried, but it was absolutely the right decision. I told my husband, I said, you know what, this is what I'm going to be doing. I want to put my whole 100% effort in here, yet I know that we need an income. I was the primary breadwinner at the time, and I did not want to build this business from a place of struggle and lack. And I said, okay, I'm going to go get a job. Luckily, I was able to find a wonderful job pretty quickly, and I grew this business then in my very, very part-time. My lunch hours, on Thursday evenings, and on Saturday. So really it was just a seed, and I grew it into my dream business, truly. And that's what I have now. I have this highly profitable business working part-time hours just during the day while my son is at school. And what's wonderful is the mentors that came before me, that their message really resonated with me, were those that said, you don't need to do it the way everyone else is doing it. I'm not going to teach you how to overcome sales objections, okay? You don't need to be sleazy. Be authentic, be you, and be consistent. So consistent meaning that even when I didn't feel like working during lunch or on a Thursday evening on a Saturday, it was just by being me and by never losing focus on what I meant to be doing and on my dream. So my forte now is I mentor women. One-on-one is my favorite way to do it. And I mentor them in how they can experience significant results. Like, I am not satisfied until a client of mine, their business is completely transformed, like a complete transformation. And I want to show them how to do it in the shortest, easiest path, right? I want to take years and years off of their learning and implementation phase so they can have that business that they want. And high level, some of the things we focus on is what's going to be their most profitable offer or offers those offers that, sell themselves, where their ideal clients like, really? You can help me with that? Great, let's do it. And I also want to show them how they can open up the floodgates to more and more ideal clients each and every month. So marketing obviously is key, what we're going to be talking about today. And then from that marketing, as they're attracting their ideal client to their business, how do you then sell people in a very easy, natural conversion from someone who's a lead to someone who's a new client, selling them into your offer. So I really do focus predominantly on the service-based entrepreneur, those mentors and coaches and healers, and that's my focus. This training on how to market with ease and authenticity is going to relate regardless if you're a service-based provider or you sell a product or network marketer. But that's just my focus in my business with who I mentor. So enough about me. Let's talk about you. And if you can relate, if you're struggling in your business at all, you feel like you're having a hard time finding those new clients. You're like, where are they? And how do I market? And how do I market in a way where it is going to feel more natural to me and it's going to be effective and it's not going to be so time consuming? You're probably at the point where this person's just got our checkbook there, right? Where you're just not seeing those financial results, or you're not seeing it consistently enough. Maybe there's that feast or famine, which is hard, right? I know if you're waking up in the middle of the night with those 2 a.m. sweats being like, oh my gosh, am I going to do it? Are we going to be able to have enough money to pay the bills? That's overflowing to every other aspect of your life, right? Your health and your relationships. And so we got to get you out of that financial struggle. We need to get your business off of life support quickly, like now. And so many times people are just even overwhelmed on how to market. And what's great right now is we are blessed. We have so many either low cost or completely free ways to market our business. We have so much at our disposal, and that's wonderful. Yet it's a challenge too, because we don't know, well, what should I be doing? Should I be on Facebook or LinkedIn, or should I be blogging or have YouTube videos or podcasting? And then you hear one expert saying, well, you need to be blogging, and someone else saying, well, you need to be on Pinterest. And let's get those needs out, that you need to be doing. Let's get that out of our language. Let's not get overwhelmed. I'm actually going to encourage you to be focusing that less is more with marketing. So we want to eliminate that overwhelm, and some of that overwhelm is even like paralyzing you by fear, right? Sometimes you feel like things need to be perfect, or you just need to know a little bit more before you can get on out there. Let's get past this fear. Let's not let it paralyze you. So if you're feeling like this, know that it's very common, but let's get you out of this place quickly. And one of the biggest ways to do that is to look at your sales and marketing funnel, your profit funnel, because most likely your funnel is either broken or non-existent. I am surprised sometimes when I start working with a client, we realize, oh my gosh, you don't actually have any part of your funnel up and running. Yeah, you have bits and pieces of your funnel up and running, but until you have these 3 pieces of your funnel up and running and fully functioning and streamlined and running like a well-oiled machine, it's nearly impossible to have a profitable business. But on the flip side, know that you can get a sales and marketing funnel up pretty quickly that you just keep perfecting. So on the flip side, let's just assume you do have a sales and marketing funnel, right? You've got a super streamlined profit funnel where you are filling your funnel, the top of your funnel, with your new ideal client, right? People who would be a joy to work with. And you're adding hundreds of your ideal clients to your list or to your funnel each and every month with some rinse and repeat marketing strategies that feel like you. And then you have a process to deepen this relationship with your list or your tribe or your community. And it's just happening. Again, it's just a process. And it is nourishing those relationships that it really takes to get those folks to convert to sales. And that's the last part, right? That you've got these offers that are built around your ideal client, that instead of them just saying, oh, that's interesting, and not buy, again, they're like, really? You can help me with that? Great, let's get started. That's what you want. So it comes down to it. You've got these offers that are irresistible. Your website is doing the selling for you. You've got these sales pages that are written with the science of the sale behind it. And on your higher end offerings, you're hopping on the phone with people. They're saying, hey, let's talk. They're requesting it. And you have this conversation. It's just a conversation. There's nothing icky about it. and you enjoy these conversations, and you're converting these people to some high-level investments, right? These high-level programs that you've got. And I'm not one that says, you know, just increase your rates, increase your rates, increase your rates. No, I'm about let's get them the results that they want in the quickest, easiest way, where they would pay that high-level investment and then some, right? So it's not just about increasing your rates. It's about increasing the value you provide them and getting them, knowing what those results are they're hungriest for, and again, getting them there in the quickest, easiest way. All right, so these are our objectives with this free training. Is let's talk about what's been sabotaging you from getting more and more clients and how you can actually get more leads by doing less. So hopefully that simplicity is appealing to you. And let's talk about some marketing strategies. I really want you to be hearing these strategies from the perspective of which ones you believe best fit your personality. And then what could a simple, incredibly powerful marketing plan look like? How do you put together a marketing plan? So let's dive on in. So what's been sabotaging you is most likely you've been getting a bit sidetracked. Right? Most likely you've been doing a little bit of everything, but maybe nothing to the fullest and nothing super consistent where you're gaining that momentum. And maybe part of that, part of it is like what I said earlier, that we are blessed, but it's also a challenge that you've got so many marketing strategies at your disposal, and you've got experts telling you different things, or maybe something that's working for a friend of yours, and you just go from thing to thing to thing. It's not going to work. It's just going to make you tired and broke. A lot of times we're looking for that magic bullet, right? We're like, there's got to be this one strategy that's just going to add, you know, tens of thousands of people to my list. There's not a magic bullet. The thing with marketing is getting a plan and working the plan and being consistent and authentic. And initially you're like, I don't know if this is working. Is anyone listening? Is anyone reading my tweets or my post or my blogging? And you keep on going. That's what it takes. So generally speaking, there's not going to be a magic bullet or even believing there's overnight success. So many times we stop with our marketing strategies or even our business entirely because we feel like we should have already been there. We feel like, gosh, I've been doing this for a year or 2 years. Why am I not there? So we give up or we slow down and we stop that. We stop that momentum that we've been building. So don't do that. Please don't get sabotaged by these common obstacles. Just know that it's about being consistent and persistent. That's what it takes. And when you find a marketing plan that feels natural and authentic to you, it's easy to do that. Not only do you find the strategies that you can do, but we figure out how do you streamline them. How are they happening like a well-oiled machine so they keep on going? This is huge. This is where folks are moving on way too soon. And I love this visual. I just wish it was a lady pushing up this boulder. Because when you get a new marketing strategy up and running, let's say someone says, oh, you need to be blogging, right? So you're pushing this boulder up a hill because it's a lot of work getting a strategy up and running. And you are like, okay, let me get a website or let me redo my website and let me start blogging. And what happens is we push that boulder up the hill because, again, it's a lot of work. That's an example, or maybe a Facebook business page, right? You figure out, well, how do I get a Facebook business page up? And you get your picture and you start, trying to get all these fans. And then we are like, well, we don't see instant results. So I'm moving on. This isn't working for me. So what do? We spend so much energy pushing that boulder up the hill, but we let that boulder slide back down before it went over the other side. Right? Let's say you're blogging and you just consistently blog just once a week. Even initially when you're like, is anyone listening? But you keep doing it. And then that boulder is going to slide on down the other side of the hill and it's like, whee! You're like, oh my gosh, look at all this. People are reading it now and they're commenting and they're retweeting it and oh my gosh, I'm getting clients. But the thing is, ask yourself, are you letting that boulder slip on down before it goes to the other side of the mountain? Because I can't tell you how many blog sites or websites, they're just dormant. Someone hasn't blogged in forever. Or Facebook page, social media profiles that are just dormant. That's generally speaking someone who moved on too soon. You're just not giving yourself that, you're not benefiting from the gift of momentum. So just keep on going. And many times, again, we're saying the strategy didn't work. Maybe I have clients that say, I went to the networking meeting and I didn't sell anything, so that's not going to be a strategy that I'm going to keep up. If you went to a networking event assuming you were going to sell, then first of all, that's not the right intention of networking. Networking is about building relationships, which take time. So I would say, well, do these consistent steps. You know, go to 2 live networking meetings a week. Each week, continue to do it. Push that boulder up the hill, or hold at least one one-on-one a week. It's about those types of things. And a one-on-one, for those of you who haven't been involved in networking, is if I'm going to a networking meeting, I'd love to see who else is going that I haven't chatted with in a while. And I'll shoot them a quick message and see if we can chat before or after the networking meeting so we can just get to know each other a bit more. When you do those things consistently, whatever those consistent steps are, that's when the strategy works. Or I didn't get any new clients from Facebook. Well, let's take a look at your profile. I'm like, girl, come on. You haven't even said anything to your community in like 3 weeks. Of course it's not going to work. Are you doing things consistently, like making 3 posts a day on your Facebook business page? You know, spending at least 15 minutes a day making sure you go out to your business page to see if there's any way you can engage or respond to your fans, people who have commented and, you know, shared, and those are the things. So those things, when done consistently, that's again when you can move that boulder over to the other side of the mountain. So I'm just going to encourage you to put your marketing blinders on and not be challenged by the shiny object syndrome. Being like, oh, I need to do this. Oh, let me do this. Let me do that. Because again, what that does is it leaves you tired and broke, because you're not getting the results from all your efforts, because you're giving up too soon and you're moving ahead and you're spreading yourself too thin. So many times when we're involved in too many marketing strategies, we're involved in too much. So we don't have the time or the energy or the momentum to really do any of it exceptionally well. All right, so put on your marketing blinders. And then some of you too might be getting sabotaged because you look at her and you're like, but look at her, she's doing this and she's succeeding. So because I'm not at her point or her level, this just isn't working for me, or maybe I shouldn't even do this business at all. Because you look at her again and you think, oh, overnight success, or it was easier for her, it was less of a struggle. But she would tell you different. She would tell you, no, ladies, if I could peel back the curtain of my first 3 years in business, she would tell you it was very different. And that it's just a journey. We're all on the same journey. We all start from ground zero, if you will. We all go through those same emotions and doubts and fears. But she'll say it just took persistence. It just took consistency of doing the same things over and over and over again, even if you were wondering, is anyone listening? Are my efforts making a difference? But she kept going. So please make that commitment to yourself and your business and your family that you're going to keep going. So how can you get more clients by actually doing less? Because some of you, all of you are different, and where you're at with marketing is different. But some of you are working way too hard. You've got your hands on too much stuff. But again, you're just doing a little bit of everything. You're just grasping for straws, and any new opportunity, you're like, yeah, sure. Right? For example, let's just say that you were given the opportunity, you heard about this expo, you can have a table or a booth. Some people jump at that even though it's not part of their plan. And when they jump at it, and it's like these, one-off thing, if you will, they spend so much time and getting everything ready for their display and printing things out, and they're doing things at the last minute, and they're so rushed sometimes that they're not utilizing it to the fullest, right? They don't even follow up with the leads because they didn't think through a follow-up strategy with all the leads they're going to be collecting. But if it's part of your strategy, let's say it's one of your 3 strategies, you've got it down pat. Right? You already know how to make a killer booth or table. You already know that irresistible gift or giveaway that you're going to be able to raffle off for these entries, and you already know how you're going to follow up with them. You already got your process in place. So it's a lot less work, and then of course you get to see so much more results from it. Okay? So is that you? Are you working way too hard because you're doing a little bit of everything? And then there's others on the flip side that you're just not marketing enough. I mean, not enough of your ideal clients know about you. Not enough people know about you. So I don't know where you're at. Be thinking about where you're at on the spectrum. And so how do we get more clients by doing less? Part of it is by not marketing to everyone. I mean, if you get real clear on who you're marketing to, identify even an ideal client character. This goes even further than a target market. And when you know who you're marketing to and you get to know them inside and out, and you are just focused on how you can meet more of them and not how you can meet everybody. And not only are you going to be able to use your limited marketing time, energy, and money more wisely, but it's going to be more effective because you're going to be speaking directly to the heart of your ideal client instead of this watered down message to everybody, which is not going to be effective. So when you get to know who they are, you create your marketing plan around them, and you realize that this is about building a relationship with them. And you really start thinking about that. And you see sales and marketing in less in terms of transactional, right? They buy from you and then you move on to find someone else who you can sell to, right? It's just these transactions. And instead you think of it as this longer term relationship that you're building with them, this know, like, and trust that you're building with them. When you do that and you have that middle part of that sales and marketing funnel that I was showing you before, that keep in touch strategy, that can take many different forms and fashions and formats, but it's figuring out what makes the most sense for your ideal client. How can you keep in touch and drip on them, if you will, and something that works for you as well, and you just do it and you build that relationship. That's when you can get more clients by doing less, because you're not spending all your energy being like, how do I find more, new. You're just fostering those relationships with people who've already come into your funnel. It's a much easier way to do business. And then lastly, just knowing and being okay with the fact that not everyone's going to be your ideal client. Not everyone is going to be your ideal client. And being okay with that and not getting our feelings hurt or feeling like we're losing our momentum because we're sort of having this pity party. And let me give you an example. There's a wonderful company called Melaleuca. They sell natural products, so let's say cleaning products. And that company's been around for a long time. So the company hasn't changed, their focus hasn't really changed, right? Their products haven't really changed, maybe gotten better. But if I think of me, and there was a time, maybe 8 years ago, that if someone from Melaleuca was trying to sell me their products, I just wasn't interested at the point. I was not an ideal client. I wasn't even looking for alternative solutions. I thought it was, I was fine with the things I was always using, that my parents always used, and that was nice and easy for me to get at the grocery store. So I was not an ideal client, and I wouldn't want to have been convinced that I was, and, and for that individual to be okay with that. Then there was a point where I was interested in this, right? Because of a life-changing event, I was looking at ways to remove some of the toxicity in my life and go more natural. So I was a perfect ideal client. I was such an easy sell because I was at the point where I was looking for a solution. I didn't need to be convinced. That's the thing. We don't want to be forcing, convincing people that they need us. It's too draining. Let's spend our marketing time, efforts, and money elsewhere. So I was a perfect ideal client for them, and it was great. So they would try to figure out, okay, how do I find more of that person? Someone who is open to, they're looking for solutions for more natural alternatives. Now, let's say that I get to the point where I get beyond that, where I'm like, you know what, I want to get more granola-like and make my own products. That might be me at some point, right? And then again, I wouldn't want to be convinced by this Melaleuca person that, but they're not as effective, and I just wouldn't want that. And can you actually see, though, that when we see that not everyone's going to be a client of ours, an ideal client of ours, and be okay with that, and just try to find those people who are ideal, it just does completely transform. Not everyone's an ideal client of mine, right? Maybe if they have a brick and mortar, or again, my focus isn't as much on direct sales. There's other coaches, that's their focus, and they would be best suited there. Or I do not want to do my coaching calls on nights and weekends. There's probably coaches that do that, and that would be a best fit for someone else. So knowing and being okay with the fact that not everyone's going to be your ideal client. So getting clear on who your ideal client is and finding more of them. So let's say a health coach, for example. Instead of marketing to anyone with a life who wants to feel better and lose weight, because anyone with a life is hanging out everywhere, right? When I was Mary Kay sales director, that was what we were taught. Your client is anyone with skin. Woo! Well, anyone with skin is hanging out everywhere, and they've got such different needs and challenges. And so again, it could have been just a watered down message. Instead, I decided to focus on stay-at-home moms who wanted to do just the mommy makeover, how in 5 minutes they can look great with the least amount of products, and they could do it with a child hanging on the right leg and a child hanging on the left leg. I focused on that, mommy makeovers, and that completely transformed things for me. So a health coach, instead of marketing to anyone with a life, what if they focus on brides who want to lose weight for their wedding? Then they figure out, again, not where is anyone with a life hanging out, but where are these bride-to-bees hanging out? On and offline. And then they could really tailor their marketing message and packages directly to the bride-to-be that spoke directly to their hearts. And they'd be like, really? You can help me with that? Great, let's do it. So create an ideal client character. I know what some of you are probably thinking. You're either thinking, Claire, I've heard this before, yet you might still not have done it. Maybe you think it's limiting who you're going to sell to. You don't want to limit your business, but it's the opposite, right? It's the opposite. It's just that it actually helps you get super clear on where to spend your limited marketing time, money, and energy. And you're truly going to be increasing your marketing effectiveness and your business profitability exponentially. Truly, trust me. Trust me. So when you're thinking of an ideal client character, be thinking of a particular person. Again, remember I said this went beyond further than a target market, because a target market might be, for me, it might be, my target market are women between the ages of 30 and 60 who are growing an in-home business. But I want to go further with an ideal client character, and it's a person. So let's say when you're done listening to this training video that you get a call, you get a phone call. And it might be one of your favorite customers that you're like, can I just work with more of that type of person? Or it might be a fictional person, because you can create an ideal client character from scratch. Maybe she or he has bits and pieces of some of your favorite customers. Sometimes it looks like you, how you looked, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. But anyway, assume that there's a person on the other end of this phone. So you stop watching this training video and your phone magically rings. And they're like, oh my gosh, someone was just telling me about you, and I've got these challenges, and he or she said that you'd be perfect in helping me fix them or get beyond them or get through it. So let's start working together, right? And this is the perfect person. So if you had to pick of the litter, who would that be on the other end of that phone? And this is someone who's going to be a joy to work with, right? And they're at the point, again, they're looking for a solution. You don't need to convince them they have a problem. They are looking for a solution. They're willing to pay for this solution because they just want to get there in the fastest, quickest way. And because of whatever their unique challenges and struggles are, and because of what your forte is, that you can get them phenomenal results. So much that they're going to be a walking billboard for you. You're going to have so many referrals coming into your business. So it's just a paradigm shift. When we can really get, with that pinpoint focus, we're just going to want to find more of them. Right? You get clear on that person, and you just want to find more and more of them. You get out of the convincing game because you're going to be tailoring your marketing message directly to them. Where again, they're like, let's do it. So I'd love for you to meet my ideal client. Her name is Ready to Ramp It Up Rhonda. She's a health coach. She lives in a different state than me. She lives in Virginia. She's 37. She's got 2 young kids. And she knows she's in the right business, and she's been helping clients get some good results. But she's got bits and pieces of her business up and running, but it's not fully functioning. It's not where she's not getting that consistent income that she wants, $5,000 a month, $8,000 a month, $10,000 a month. She is ready to ramp it up. She's ready to get her complete sales and marketing funnel, her complete streamlined profit funnel up and running like a well-oiled machine, and she is wanting to know how to do this, run this highly profitable business around her family, right? Her family is first and foremost, and she generally wants to do this in part-time hours as well. So that's why streamlining the heck out of our business is really important. So that's Ready to Ramp It Up Rhonda. So I'm going to figure out, where Ready to Ramp It Up Rhonda is. Hanging out, online and offline. That's what it's about. I want to fill the top part of my funnel with as many Ready to Ramp It Up Rhondas as possible. And then my keep in touch strategy is going to be on developing that relationship with Ready to Ramp It Up Rhonda. So when I'm writing my emails or my communications, my marketing message, marketing materials, I think of Ready to Ramp It Up Rhonda. Like, she's a friend of mine, and I'm just writing to her, to that one individual. And then I've figured out the best way to convert her to sales. Like, how would I have a conversation if I had a phone call with Ready to Ramp It Up Rhonda? How would that phone conversation go so that I can convert her to sales, assuming she's the right person, right? But Ready to Ramp It Up Rhonda is my ideal client, and I would love to invite her into my Fast Path mentoring program, where I can work one-on-one with her. We can get her entire business up and running and flowing. So how do I find more of her? That's what it's about. You get more clients by doing less. There was a saying that I think it was Barbara Hemphill set it, that instead of moving 10 things forward an inch, which is unfortunately what a lot of us are doing with marketing, right? We got our hands in a little bit too much of everything, but we're not fully maximizing to its full effectiveness. So instead of doing that, just move 3 things forward a mile. So do less, but do those 3 things incredibly well with consistency and persistence. And again, you get really good at saying, okay, now how do I find more Ready to Ramp It Up Rhondas, online and offline? So we've been talking about what's been most likely sabotaging you. We've been talking about how you can get more clients by doing less. And now let's talk about some different marketing strategies that, again, I want you to be hearing from the perspective of which ones just sort of resonate more with you and your personality. And it's all about creating a marketing plan. So again, instead of doing a little bit of everything, I'm going to encourage you to focus on 3 core marketing strategies. 3. And focus on utilizing those strategies to their fullest. Really maximize their effectiveness. Give yourself the gift of momentum from those 3 strategies, and be okay with putting your marketing blinders on for other things. So if your friend, your well-intending friend said, "Oh, you need to be on Google Plus, Claire," be like, "No, I'm good now. Maybe when I update a marketing plan, but I've got plenty on my plate, and I'm going to utilize my current marketing strategies to the fullest. And then when I adjust my plan, well, maybe." And at this point, I'm only adjusting my marketing plan yearly. At the beginning part of the year, I create my marketing plan. It might be some of you are just getting a marketing plan put together, you get it up and running, you get some pen to paper and create your plan, and maybe you adjust it, a couple months down the road, and then 6 months down the road. And then you get to the point where you know what's working and what you enjoy doing and where you're getting your greatest bang for your buck. And then you will be able to get to the point where you just create your marketing plan for the year and you just focus on those things. Oh my gosh, talk about the gift of momentum when you are doing these things for an entire year. Oh my goodness. So the key thing is to get some pen to paper, create a draft plan, and then just work on growing into your marketing plan. Like it might be that social media is one of your strategies and you're going to be on, let's say, Facebook and Pinterest and Twitter, but let's say you're only on Facebook right now. Well, I would encourage you to actually get then Twitter and Pinterest, for example, down on your marketing plan as placeholders so that you just keep growing into that marketing plan. You don't need to add other things to your plan. You just work on growing into your plan, right? Learning those other systems and getting them up and running. And so you grow into your plan, you just focus on getting them up and running and then get good and consistent with them and then get more expert at them. My marketing plan, every 90 days, I'm looking at, okay, how can I become more expert at these things? How can I use these strategies to their fullest? And what might be your 3 winning strategies is I would want to be in the center of that Venn diagram. So they meet all 3 of these criteria. So again, it's a strategy that just fits your personality. You're like, I could do that. I could probably do that. It's a strategy that's going to effectively connect with your ideal client. So for me, it would be, again, where is Ready to Ramp It Up Rhonda? Where is she online and offline, and where would she be open to hearing my message? Because the Ready to Ramp It Up Rhonda is most likely open to hearing my message if she sees like a free webinar that I'm doing in her Facebook newsfeed, but most likely would not be open to hearing my message if I am trying to give her my message in the food, supermarket while she's busy with her children. So it's not only where is your ideal client hanging out, but where would they be open to hearing your message? Now, lastly, just strategies that you can commit to doing consistently. So, for example, if I write a weekly blog post, and you know that writing fits your personality, you can connect your ideal client there because maybe he or she's in front of Google, typing in, how do I find more clients, or how do I manage my time? And you want a blog that you've done to show up in the results, but you're like, I just don't think I can commit to doing that consistently. Doing it every single week, then it might not be one of your strategies initially. So they want it because remember, that's huge, is your consistency. So strategies that you can commit to doing consistently, those are your winning strategies. And I always just like to emphasize this. This is my opinion, that if a strategy feels icky, don't do it. Don't do it. Especially when we have so many strategies at our disposal. Why pick ones that feel icky? Because don't you think you'll find every reason in the book to procrastinate? Yes, you will. And most likely you are very similar to your ideal client. So you're a really good gauge. I give the example of Mary Kay, and I had been at our national sales director was sharing, strategies that have worked for her. And one was go in a supermarket and go up and down the aisles and give someone a compliment and strike up a conversation and invite them for a free makeover. And being a good little student, I was like, let me give this a try. And I went to the mall. I've actually met some other Mary Kay beauty consultants there. And oh my gosh, it felt so icky. Oh my gosh, so icky. I would not have wanted, I didn't even know about marketing plans at the time, so I didn't have a marketing plan. But that would not have been a strategy I'd want in my marketing plan. Yet it worked so well for the national sales director because it didn't feel icky to her. That was her personality. She could strike up an authentic conversation with anyone. But for me, oh goodness. So give yourself that permission. If it feels icky, don't do it. There's other strategies out there. So what might be some strategies? I mean, maybe live networking. So you're meeting people in person. And I think live networking, especially in your first year to, number 1 to 3 years in your business, is huge. So there's networking groups. Go to meetup.com and see. I'm sure there's tons of groups that are meeting around your area. Or you can have more formal groups like leads groups, and the main purpose of a leads group is that you're giving leads. You're giving and getting leads. So they've got groups like bni.com. You can start your own networking group, which is what I did. I shared with you how, I was working when I started this business. I went back and got a job, but I wanted to be around my ideal client. At that time, it wasn't Ready to Ramp It Up Rhonda. It was Overwhelmed Olivia, and I wanted to find more Overwhelmed Olivia. So I actually started my own networking group through meetup.com. I just created a group, and we met over lunch 2 times every other week, pretty much over lunch. And I found so many clients that way by creating my own. Or you can go through the Chamber of Commerce. They've got networking. And networking isn't even necessarily just need to be formal networking. I mean, it could be informal networking, groups that you would genuinely, authentically want to be anyway that aren't about business. I shared quickly how when I did pick an ideal client for a Mary Kay business, it was moms, stay-at-home moms. And there was a group. I found so many clients out of it, but it wasn't my intent. I didn't go there to market. It was a moms group. It's called MOPS, M-O-P-S, and Mothers of Preschoolers. And it was, 50 moms that we would meet every other Friday at our church. And that was a group, my ideal clients there, and I genuinely, authentically wanted to be there anyway. And how did I find more clients there if I wasn't there to market? It's because I got to know people, right? Built relationships. And they would say, Claire, what do you do? And I would tell them. Or someone would say at one of the meetings, oh, Claire, that was so much fun at the Mommy Makeover event. And somebody would be like, oh, what's that? And so live networking does not need to necessarily be formal networking, but you're just meeting people, building relationships, one of the best and fastest way to grow your business. Or online networking, right? You've got all the social media platforms for you, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn. There's online forums where you can network. You can even Google. So in the example I gave before with the brides, you can Google, type in brides and the plus sign forum and find out what online forums are talking about brides or for brides. So there's a whole world online where people are building these relationships electronically, if you will, online. Referrals. I mean, I would love your business to get to the point where you're not needing to find new clients, but you're spending a lot of your time just loving on your current clients, and they are a referral machine for you. So, and I'm sure for a lot of you that is a strategy. We just don't even see it as a strategy. It could be one of your 3 strategies is referrals, relationship building and referrals. So do you have a referral program for your clients? Do you have something up and running that they love, that's irresistible? You're making it as easy as possible for them to refer others to you. Or even just, like I said, loving on your current clients, doing the and then some. Little thank you cards or gifts, or you're just calling them out of the blue, seeing how their vacation went. You're just building a relationship with them. That's a marketing strategy. I don't want you to think marketing is this negative word. Marketing is building relationships, Or you can have referral partners like cross promotions through like coupons, for example. Let's say you're a massage therapist. You think about what are all the other businesses that my ideal client is interested in. It might be that they would go see a physical therapist or an acupuncturist or a holistic doctor, and then just start reaching out and seeing how you can build these genuine relationships with other referral partners. So for me, who are other people ready to ramp it up Rhondas are needing to have a successful business? Probably like a virtual assistant, a web designer, an accountant, or tax person or bookkeeper. You get the idea. So where I can then really truly develop these relationships, and we can be referral machines for each other. So referrals is one. Publicity or PR. This really, depends on the type of business that you have, but you can get out there and get some publicity. Maybe you've won an award, or you renewed a certification, or company anniversary, and there's free places you can go, like prlog.org, and see what type of articles they're looking for, newsworthy articles, or there's free services you can check out, like Caro is Help a Reporter Out. If you signed up for that free service, you'd get 2 emails a day, and it's reporters all over the United States that are saying, hey, I need help, I've got a deadline, I'm writing an article on such and such, so I'm looking for health experts, or I'm looking for beauty experts. And you can imagine if you reply back then with your quote or your answer to whatever it is that they're looking for, you can imagine how getting published that way, how that can truly help your business. Absolutely. Or speaking. I love speaking live. Last year that was part of my marketing strategy, was to speak to the local networking groups, and I spoke to 20 different groups here live, and that was a wonderful way to grow my business. So you can meet where you can speak where people are already meeting, or you can create your own talks, right? And you have a purpose to draw them to you're offering a free workshop on such and such, or virtually. I do lots of teleseminars, webinars. I'm big on webinars. I love webinars. Doing 2 webinars a month is part of my marketing strategy. I love to speak. Or writing. That could be a part of your marketing strategy. Blogging, right? So you have your own blogs. You could be a guest blogger on others. It really helps to build that credibility, to help the search engine optimization. Maybe you're not sure what to write on. I love going to magazines.com, and you can, let's say you're in health and fitness, go to health and fitness and just see the different magazines that are out there and see the titles that are on the page. These writers are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to get those catchy titles. They're going to stop someone when they're checking out a supermarket and buy that magazine. You can submit your own blogs and tweak them some to make them full articles and submit them to free places like ezinearticles.com. Or you can write a book or an ebook or get published through the Kindle book. So maybe writing is one of your strategies. Or how about videos? Doing a Q&A video for your list, right? You ask them for questions and you record a video once a week, once a month. You send it out to social media through your list. You can have your own TV show, if you will, and you can use that term loosely. I have my own TV show because I record 1 video a week on my 3 tips in 3 minutes. And it's housed on YouTube. You can have a branded YouTube channel. So videos, that's a great way to connect with your ideal client. Or events. I gave an example before about vendor shows or trade shows. They're not my favorite, but they really work well for some businesses. And if that's your case, let's say you're wanting to find brides, in the example I gave before, you can go to this website, tsnn.com, and see where the bridal expos are in your area. Or advertising. You could pay to get in front of your ideal client, in print or magazine, online. One of my favorite ways right now is Facebook ads. And when done correctly, oh my gosh, Facebook ads are the best way right now to get in front of so many ideal clients. But again, it would depend on your business, and you need to have some type of giveaway. I wouldn't use a Facebook ad to point someone to my website or to point them to a program or like my FastPass mentoring program. I wouldn't do that. I would be pointing them to something I'm doing for free, a webinar or a giveaway event, or just some content that I've created they can instantly download, and then they get on my list and I start dating them. So there's different ways that you can advertise. You could pay to be on someone else's website or in their e-zine and getting in front of their community. Direct mail, sending postcards and radio, and so there's different ways to advertise. Like in my favorite just happens to be Facebook ads. But so what do you think your winning strategies might be? Again, strategies that fit your personality, they connect to your ideal client, and you can commit to doing them consistently. So that's picking some strategies, right? 3 core strategies, and you start doing them, and you do them well. And then let's talk about how you get some pen to paper and create a marketing plan. So you have a plan and you work the plan. In a marketing plan, it's all about simplicity. There's something so powerful about the power of 3. You could focus on 3 things and do 3 things incredibly well. Focus on 3 core strategies, and they're strategies about feeling authentic, about being consistent, And again, it's first about, when you have your marketing plan, it's first about just getting good and consistent, and then you just continue to gain your mastery, right? When you see people's videos that have been doing videos forever, right, they're wonderful. And that's something for me every quarter, for me to see how I can do my videos better, because I have lots of room for growth. But when I look at my videos when I first started, doing them maybe a couple of years ago or a year ago, I'm like, oh my gosh, I look so sad. I look so sad. I didn't bring any of my personality to the videos. But you just get them up and running. You get good and consistent, and then we just get better and better and better. So let's not be so hard on ourselves. We're not perfect coming out of the gate. It's not what it's about. So let me give you an example of what a marketing plan can look like. Let's see if I can get my little pen here. Okay, so this is one strategy. Strategy number one. Remember, I'm recommending 3 strategies. This one is live networking. So when I do a marketing plan, within each strategy, I flush it through further. And I say, okay, if live networking is going to be one of my strategies, how am I going to do that? What are my tactics? And what are going to be my ongoing marketing action items? Meaning, like, how frequently am I going to do these things? What am I going to do each day, week, month, quarter to utilize the strategy to the fullest? So if live networking was one of my strategies, I would generally recommend about 2 to 4 groups that I was part of. 3 groups, that's perfect. Doesn't need to be 3 groups, though, but let me give you some rationale behind that. If that's going to be one of your strategies, I don't think being part of just one group is enough. It's not going to give you enough traction. You're not going to simply be meeting enough people. I also don't think you need to be part of 8 groups, because I don't think, how can you really do a good job? How can you consistently go to all those meetings, and how can you consistently get to know the people in that group one-on-one, even outside of the meeting? I just think it would spread yourself too thin, that you wouldn't be doing it well. So that's the rationale there. And then you'd want to know, okay, what am I going to be doing consistently to make the most out of live networking? And these things don't need to be huge. You're just being intentional about it. So you can have, let's say, anywhere between 8 to 10 ongoing marketing action items. And they could be as simple as attending the meetings consistently, so that you're blocking that out on your calendar, and when you're there at the meeting, it's time well spent. You're working your marketing plan. You're watering your money tree, so I like to call it. Maybe, have at least one one-on-one meeting a week. So you're going to these meetings, let me see who's there that I can meet with, chat with, before or after the meeting. Maybe you send a handwritten card after each one-on-one. Maybe you send a glad you were able to come email to every guest, new person. It's not salesy. You're just saying, so glad you're able to come, and hope you love the group. It's a wonderful group. We'd love to see you soon. Simple thing like that. It's just doing the and then some. You're just crossing your T's and dotting your I's, because your dollars from your marketing plan are in those finishing details. It's not enough just to go to the event. You got to do the and then some. But again, they're small little things, but you're just being intentional, and you're just doing them consistently. Okay? So that's how I do it. I create 3 strategies. So within each strategy, I figure out the marketing tactics. So for example, let's say this strategy was online networking. I'd say, okay, well then where will I be? Will it be Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn? And again, you don't need to have 3. It's just a guideline. If you have 2 or you have 4, 2, 3, 4, that makes sense. And again, the example I gave before about your social media, maybe you're only on Facebook right now. But think about places you think you'd want to be. If it's your personality, maybe you're there socially. It's a place like you like Pinterest. Maybe you like going there. You believe you can really reach your ideal client, and you believe you could be there consistently. You just don't know how to do it for business yet. That's okay. I'd encourage you to put it down, again, as a placeholder, so that you know that you're going to be working into that marketing plan. Okay. Let me get rid of here. There we go. So your marketing action items, right? This last column, this bar, the bottom part, that's really the most important part of your plan. So you have your 3 strategies. For me, my 3 core strategies are live networking, online social networking, and increasing my expert status through like writing and videos. Those are my 3 core strategies. But then the most important part is that last column where, again, you're going to be intentional. And you're going to ask yourself, well, how can I get to know more people better, increasing those relationships, or the depth of those relationships? How do I increase my visibility? How do I really build relationships with them? How can I build referral networks? What are the and then some I can do? How can I point my ideal clients to the solutions I have to offer so we can start the dating relationship, right? Through your marketing plan, you want to be allowing people to enter the top part of your funnel. And drawing them, your ideal clients, to your funnel is a lot of times you giving them something away for free, right? Whether it's a blog post or a free webinar you're doing. And then they're opting in some way and you're starting that dating relationship. Or just how can I love on my current clients? You're just being intentional about how you're building relationships with your leads and your clients. So marketing simplified, just say no. Say no to the shiny object syndrome, please. Less is more. Just focus on your core 3 strategies. And I wouldn't encourage one of those strategies to be something that feels icky. If it feels icky, don't do it. But ultimately, you have a plan and you work the plan. And then you get to see what's been working. I mean, know how new clients are finding you. Which of the strategies, how do they enter your funnel? See what's been working and do more of that. As simple as it sounds, that's really what it's about. See what's been working and do more of that. Because you've got your funnel here on the left-hand side, right? You've got this steady stream of new hungry ideal leads that are entering your funnel because you're working your marketing plan with those couple of rinse and repeat marketing strategies, like the example that I gave where I want to give 2 webinars a month. That's an ongoing marketing action item. That's in my last column of my strategy of increasing my expert status. So one of them would be hold 2 webinars a month where I'm adding at least 100 new leads to my list with each and every webinar. Okay, so you've got that part of your funnel. Then you've got your keep in touch strategy where you're deepening the relationship and then you're converting them. So you can imagine how, as I was going through that, your sales and marketing funnel, and this marketing piece is marketing with ease and authenticity is really the top part of your funnel, the working your marketing plan. But ladies, we got to get this up and running, and you can do it. Get this up and running, a complete streamlined sales and marketing funnel, streamlined profit funnel. Because what happens is it takes a woman business owner on average, if you look on the right-hand side here, an average of 2 to 5 years. This 2 to 5 years, if you don't get a sales and marketing funnel up and running, or you've got bits and pieces, or you've got holes in your funnel, right? So you're working so hard on finding new clients, but you don't have a keep in touch strategy, so they're escaping your funnel. They're leaving before they become clients. They have fallen out. You've got a hole. And see how when we don't have a funnel up and running, see how low we are on the scale of the profitability? Yeah, when you can get your sales and marketing funnel up and running quickly, that's when you have a profitable business. So ladies, you can do it, and you have a choice, right? You can either keep on going and getting bits and pieces of your business up and running, going here and there and everywhere without a plan. Or you can say, you know what, Claire, you've inspired me because I believe in you, and I believe you can get a streamlined sales and marketing funnel up and running quickly. Get it up and running. Have all 3 parts. And then you continue to perfect and become more expert at it. But get all 3 parts up and running ASAP, please. And I'd love to talk. If you're like, Claire, I just don't see how this is possible. I don't see how I can market with ease and authenticity. I don't see how I can get a complete streamlined sales and marketing funnel up and running. My focus is I want you to find your sweet spot business model, one that's super family focused, right? It's built around your family. You're doing it part-time hours if that's what you want. It's super streamlined. We've gotten your sales and marketing funnel up and running. We've figured out how to streamline the heck out of it. So you are doing a lot in a shorter period of time. And then it's highly profitable. Consistently, you're converting these leads to new paying clients that you love, clients that are a joy to work with. So again, I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to come to talkwithclaire.com. And I would love, there's no greater joy for me than to hop on the phone with another businesswoman and to encourage you and motivate you and inspire you, give you some ideas on how you can get a broken or non-existent sales and marketing funnel to be a fully functioning funnel that you feel great about. And truly then you start marketing with ease and authenticity. And you're attracting these people into your space, and you're keeping in touch with them, and you're converting them to leads. That's what it's about, ladies. So go to talkwithclaire.com. I would love to hop on the phone. And ladies, you have a great, great day. Thanks so much again for requesting this free training video. And I would love the opportunity to talk with you at talkwithclaire.com. And you guys have a great day. Bye.